Hey guys, welcome back to Bait and Tackle. Today I'm in the shop and we're going to make some Caney Creek Croakers. These are a nice little toad that you can throw around top water. This is a 3-inch croaker. We're going to make some 4-inch as well, which I haven't done yet. But these I make the bottoms, I pour the bottoms with a pearl white. And then the top I pour with what I like to call my own kind of color. It's called the Grinch. And it's a green pumpkin with black, red, green, silver, and gold flake. So should be pretty nice. And then what I end up doing is putting some eyeballs on, as you can see there. And then I dip them in plastic again just to keep the eyeballs in place, and they stay nice and perfect in there. Plus it gives it a nice little shiny coat. So stay tuned. Let's get to baiting. So I've got all my stuff laid out here, guys. These are the molds that we're going to use today. I only have one 4-inch toad, unfortunately. I've got another one coming in the mail, but that's the 4-inch croaker. And then these are the 3-inch croakers. So got everything I need, I think, laid out to pour the plastic. I've pre-shaken everything, and that's what you really need to do with plastic, is especially, it's a very important step to make sure your plastic is shook up real well. I am going to start using a new type of plastic. I know you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with World's Worst Fishing. Chris, he actually uses dead-on plastics, so I'm going to start using dead-on plastics as well. I've got all my glitters laid out, my colorants ready to go, and I got my Pyrex things out ready to go. And we're going to do some vacuum chamber as well, just to get all the air bubble and the moisture out of the plastic in case there is any. So the one thing I'm going to do here, guys, before we get too far here, is I want to just shake this up one more time just to get it really shooken up. And then we can pour out what we need. So I'm going to go ahead and pour at least a cup of each. So one at a time here, what we're going to do, and I'm going to put a little, well, I'm not going to put the heat stabilizer in yet until we microwave. I'm going to go ahead and get the pot going. Put just one of these in the pot. It's only big enough for one at a time. So I'll get this closed off, close this valve, and that way it's going to suck all the air out of there. Now the idea and the key here is to watch the gauge, get it to -30, and you can keep running the pump if you want to, but I found that if you get to a point where you get to the -30, you can close off the valve from the pump side, and you can just let it sit there, and it'll still keep vacuuming out the bubbles. There's quite a bit of air coming out of it. So I didn't quite make it to 30. I'm not sure what's going on today, but we're just going to let it sit in there for a couple minutes. Just let it bubble and get all that stuff out of there. And then we will move over to the second cup and do the second one. Okay, now we're going to release the pressure really slowly. Okay, let me open that back up, take the lid off, and this plastic should be good to go. We're going to put in number 2, and we're going to do the same thing. Close it off, start it up. Number 2, done. Okay, should be good. They should be ready to roll. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start heating these up now. So before I heat them up, I'm going to put a little bit of heat stabilizer in each one. and just mix that in real good. Just to make sure we don't have any burnt plastic. I'm not gonna stir too vigorously, only because I've already done that before and I've gotten these things with no air bubbles, so got the plastic kind of where I want it now. We're just gonna heat it up. Then we'll add the color. Probably do these one at a time. We don't need to do them both at the same time. It's a lot of liquid. So I like to start with 3 minutes. That'll get it rolling. And after this point, I think I'm gonna have to turn my fan on just so that I'm safe, and I'll try to keep you guys outside of the cabinet, and hopefully it'll cut down on the noise a little bit. Okay, now it's starting to clear up a little bit. Consistency is definitely a lot better than what it was before. Let's check our temperature. 360. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and put our color in now. This one's going to be green pumpkin. There's a lot of plastic here, so I use quite a bit of green pumpkin. I want it kind of dark. And let's start adding our glitters. So the first glitter we're going to do would be the black, the red, and the green. Let's do the black first. And we'll say 2 scoops of that. Then we're going to do 2 scoops of the green. We're going to do 2 scoops of the red. Let's see what that does first before I put in the silver and the gold. So that's the base, the green, black, and the red. And then we're going to add the gold. 2 scoops of this. So you guys are aware, I did use some different sizes in there. I used some bigger silver and bigger gold flake, and then I use a smaller black, red, and green flake. So let's get this mixed in and see what we got. Yep, that's exactly the way that I would hope it would be. So a nice thick green pumpkin, and it's still going to be semi-transparent, even though I put that much color in there. This is one of my favorite colors. It works really well, especially in the summertime on a finesse worm. So, looking real good there. The one thing I am going to do before we go too much farther here is I'm going to heat this back up for another minute. Actually, we're going to set that off to the side first. We're going to start heating up the white pearl next. We got to get that going. Okay guys, giving her another 2 minutes. Looking pretty nice and clear. Temperature is probably pretty high. Yep, right where you need to be, around 350, 360. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in the color, pearl white color. Make sure you shake it up real good. One last time. We're going to go ahead and put a bunch of that in there too. Oh yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. So instead of pouring this right from the Pyrex into our molds for the bellies, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a small syringe. And I got this metal syringe off of Amazon for like injecting a turkey. So what I want to do is I'm just going to fill up the belly molds right up to the point where the belly is going to be full and not come out of the sprue. And I think this plastic's probably in good temperature. Let me check it again. We're at about 350, so that's good. So I'm going to keep it there. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is what I was talking about, a little syringe I bought off of Amazon, and I cut the tip end off just so I've got a short end. So what I'm going to, and I lubed it up with worm oil. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some into here, and this does get very hot, so be careful of that. I should probably be wearing gloves. But I'm just going to go ahead and fill up that belly for each one. The first one I got a little excited on. Probably did a little bit too much. And put the remaining back in the container. Let's let these set up. Set this off to the side for now, and then I'm going to reheat up the green pumpkin so that we're ready for injection. So while that green pumpkin's heating up, I'm just going to go ahead and close these molds. They're cool enough now. And then what I'm going to do is put one clamp over the middle of all of them. Down as hard as I can because I don't want them pushing out and whatnot. So let's check the green pumpkin here. We still got a little ways to go. We got to heat this up again. It cooled off quite a bit. The thing with these tools you're using, I know this is my injector. Mine's from Lurecraft, and it is the screw-on tip instead of the just like one little lock position. But one thing you want to make sure you do is make sure you want to pop that thing out, clean all the old plastic out of it first. Make sure everything's all cleaned up the way you expect it to be. You don't want any of that leftover stuff getting put into your baits, especially if it's a different color that really doesn't mesh well. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean that up, and then I'm also going to take a little bit of worm oil, some plastic worm oil, and just put a little bit in there just to go around the ring just to get it worked through the tube, so then that way it flows really nice. And we're ready now. We're going to give this a good stir, right where we want it to be for temperature, around 350. I'm going to take my injector, stick the tip in, pull up as much as you need. I don't think I'm going to need too crazy much. Bring it over to your first one, push it down until it stops. Fill up the sprue. Do it again, the next one. Again on the third one. And then we wait for it to dry. Okay, and one thing I just did was I emptied this out, which you unscrew the back, pull this off, pull the tip off, and then you got to use a pair of forceps to get in there and grab the plastic and pull it out of the tube this way, just so, because you can't get in there with your fingers. So that's how you clean that one out. And then the big injector, I just peeled the outside off, put it back in the container. But this one, you just unscrew the top, and you got to wait a few minutes for it to cool down because it's pretty hot. And this stuff usually just pops right off, and you can just push the injector on and it'll come right out. The one thing is the rubber gasket in these usually stays, so you probably have to peel it off. And then what I do is just put a little bit of worm oil on there, just so then that way it doesn't keep sticking to it. So if you get your gasket in there, just get a little bit of worm oil on there, and then I can put it back on my injector, and then it's ready for round 2. So these are done. So let's get rid of the clamp. Start with the 3. Look at that. See that nice pearl body? You guys see that okay? Nice pearl body and that green pumpkin. Take this out of here so you guys can see it better. So pop off the sprue, put that back in the green pumpkin, and there's your Grinch color with pearl belly. Now I'll go back through and take some scissors and get rid of like the little tabs and stuff like that. Like I'll use these little trimming shears and get rid of some of this little extra tabs. Like there'll be some extra, like where the plastic got into like the air vents, and it happens. You just cut them off. But that's it. That's part of the process. So I'm gonna pour up a whole bunch more of these. We'll open up these 2 so you guys can see. Other one. Awesome. Pearl white belly. Now I would have liked that pearl white to be a little bit thicker, which I did put some more in there after the fact, so the next ones will come out real good. But these are just as good. So we'll get that going. There must have been some stuff in that mold because there's a little bit of haze on this one. But we'll get it cleaned up. It's going to get dipped anyway again. So then here's the 4-inch, which I'm excited about because this is the first time I've poured this size. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Look at that. Great size bait. It's got that Grinch color there and that beautiful pearl white belly. Like I said, I think it'll be better with a darker belly, a little bit more thicker pearl white. So we'll get it. Looks like it didn't pour all the way on the feet, but that's okay. It'll still do what it needs to do. But it came out really nice. Can't wait to try these. I wanted to give you guys a closer view of these, and came out really good. That 4-inch looks great. This 3 inches are always come out good, but I flipped one over just so you could see the belly. So I'm gonna go ahead and off camera pour a whole bunch more of these, and then I'll get to the part where I do the dipping with the eyes, where we put the eyes on. Okay, so I just got done putting all the eyeballs on. Now it's time to heat up the plastic. So I'm gonna have to turn the fan back on. Okay, so I heated up some clear plastic with no colorant. And all I'm gonna do here, just take one, grab it by the legs, and then I just dunk it in back to where about the legs start. So just the main body is dipped. I don't dip the whole thing, just the main body. And just just get the excess off. And then I give it a few minutes and then take it over to the dunk tank. And that's the process. So I'm gonna finish these up and get them all finished and cured, and then I'll show you the end result. This is the finished product, and like I said, there's the 4-inch croaker, which is a very nice frog croaker, and then I've got the 3-inch croaker, which is another nice size too. Now with each one of those, I recommend a 2-aught hook for the 3-inch and a 4-aught hook for the 4-inch. Both extra wide gap, then that way you can get around the body of the frog real well. And then I fish it weightless is the best way I see to just kind of flip it into some pads or weeds or whatever, and just kind of and it will probably slow sink if you let it sit there long enough with the weight of the hook, but works real well on some of those finicky bass. I know this is a very good representation of a frog or a toad. So again, great process. I love doing these. This is one of my favorites because you get to pour the bellies first, and then you get to inject the Grinch color plastic into the top part. And I find this to be a very, very good bait. So I made up a big batch of these, some for my friends at 519 Fishing, and one of my good friends out of Texas, Tito, and probably give a couple to my good buddy Matt. So these are all done, ready to go, ready to fish. They probably need to cool a little bit longer, but I like to fish them with some anise and some garlic. Well guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hope you enjoyed watching me make the 3 and 4-inch croakers. Again, I'm gonna remind you guys, if we can get to 100 subscribers on this channel, I will start doing some giveaways. I might even give away some of these croakers. I also would like to give away some jigs, some spinner baits, some buzz baits, and anything else that you guys maybe recommend that I could give away, and I'll let you know if I can actually make it or not. But stay tuned. I mean, we got a lot more coming. I'd like to do some fishing with these and show you how these really work. Maybe do some pond fishing. As always, I'm going to still continue to do some lake fishing to see if I can catch anything. And love taking my family out too, so I'll probably get the girls out for another couple videos. But like I said, subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. That would really help me out. I'm really trying to build this thing out. Thanks for watching Bait and Tackle. Keep on baiting.